Listen, all I'm saying is if Hillary Clinton wants everyone to believe that she was the absolute best candidate to become our next president, maybe she shouldn't have ran out on day one all these all these political party members that would have been infinitely better candidates than she was or is.
Well, as I'm as much of a Bernie fan as I'm not a part of the Bernie or bust, obviously, because I am an adult.
Yeah,
and I realize that you can't win and get everything you want, but they made a progressive platform for the dance. But this is the Geek Dad Report. Not
yeah,
the
I know. I'm sorry. I just had to
political
mention
report.
that day one speakers for the DNC crushed it, man. Absolutely crushed it. And all I gotta say, last thing I want to say before we talk about awesome geek stuff is how great of a ticket would a Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren ticket would have been. I really think that the Democratic Party is having serious buyer's remorse with Hillary.
Bernie Sanders, Michelle Obama.
Oh, dude. Yeah, even better. I'll take that, too.
Yes.
Obama, Michelle Obama, and Elizabeth Warren, I don't really care, would have been an amazing ticket. But you know what, everybody?
You know what? It should have been Bernie Sanders and Wonder Woman.
I would also vote yes on that ticket, but pretty sure Wonder Woman would not allow Bernie Sanders to be president. She would be like, I am going to be president because I'm goddamn Diana Prince, princess / soon to be queen of the damn Amazons.
Yes.
But anyway, oh well. You know what, people? If you're a Democratic voter and you do not, Democrat Party voter, and you do not like your nominee, well, guess what? We have no one to blame but ourselves. This was not the candidate that we deserved. Well, this is not the one we wanted. This is the one we deserved because we did not follow through and really go support Bernie, which would have given us free health care.
Yes, but everyone still needs to take down psychotic Lex
We must make
Luthor,
sure we take down the psychotic orangutan and the Hitler hairpiece orangutan and his white rice racist bigoted VP.
All right, no more.
I cannot confirm any of those things other than he clearly doesn't like women. All right. Anyway, moving on. Like Ryan said, this is not the political dad report. This is the Geek Dad Report.
Yes, and we want this to be around an hour, not 5 hours.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry, man. Dude, we're right in the middle of the DNC. Of course, there's all this political
well, and it's in my city.
Of talk that we got to talk about.
Yes, I could take an Uber down there right now.
I know. You should have. It'd been awesome. You should have wore a Geek Dad Report shirt and went down there and be like, reporting for Geek Dad Report, and then be like, who? I'm sure Bernie would have got on there and said something. Yeah. Oh well, whatever. But anyway, we got a lot to cover today. So our show's gonna be a little different than normal. We're not gonna have as many segments as we normally do because we have a ton of San Diego Comic-Con news. So on that note, I think we'll probably just dive into it. And since we're continuing our blood feud with our music providers to provide us an intro song. One day that will happen. You know what? I think I should probably tell them that we're having a blood feud. I don't think they even realize that we're having a blood feud with them on our intro music. But that's neither here nor there.
We need to actual drop some blood.
Yeah, we could. That could make that happen. But that's neither here nor there. We're not going to talk about who's at fault and who is notified that we want them to make us music. But
who is being a bunch of douchebags?
Yeah. But in the meantime, me and Ryan have committed to you guys that we were going to provide quality intros, whether I sing a parody or Ryan nails a slam poetry session. We are going to constantly and consistently provide grade A, Thanos approved intro material.
And this week, I don't have any poetry to read, but Brian, I think he's come up with another 100% original.
Yeah, nobody else.
Not knocked off.
This has not been inspired or ripped off from any current artist who may or may not have been performing in Seattle last night.
He did not Melania Trump this thing, guys.
No, I would never. I can't say that this song was not written by Michelle Obama. I can say that 100% accurately. Or, this is not a Rickroll.
Yes.
But without further ado, I bring you
I don't even know what he's gonna do. I'm so excited.
Hello?
Or scared.
Hello?
I'm not sure.
Shut up, I'm trying to sing it. Hello? It's Brian and Ryan. We were wondering if you guys would like to hear about all the geek news this week, because there's all kinds of news out of San Diego. Comic-Con had all kinds of awesome shit happen this week. Fuck. I fucked it up. I told you I was going to fuck it up. I shouldn't have been watching your face.
Yeah.
All right, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to start over again. Hello. It's Brian and Ryan.
When your eyes looked up.
Hang on.
Like, oh,
I'm going to get this. I practiced it. I'm going to nail the shit. Take 2. Hello. It's Brian and Ryan. We were wondering if you'd like to hear about the geek news this week in San Diego. Comic-Con. A whole shit ton of things happened throughout the week. Hello. Hang on. No, that's not the chorus. Hang on. Hello from the geek side. Yeah. Me and Ryan have Skyped 1,000 times to tell you we're ready to record episode 64 of the Geek Dad Report for you. Boom! Ha ha! What'd you think about that shit?
I think your brother may have inherited all the musical talent in your family.
You know, it's not every day.
You did get a little bit of the leftover, so, you know.
You know, I was a little nervous about that because I've never done an intro song that had 2. I had a chorus and a lyric, and I kind of butchered it the first time, but I feel like I should get a pass because that was pretty awesome.
It was pretty good.
I'm not going to lie, the song was originally much longer, but I knew that without massive amounts of practice, I would completely butcher it if I made it longer than, 30 seconds.
I think you should have added in air guitar solo.
I was gonna, but I don't know. I feel like
some air I could have been doing some air drums. Like,
yeah, maybe next time I'll tell you what I got planned, and then we can do it together. I feel like Adele, if she had maybe wrote this song, would be impressed. That's all I'm saying.
No, I think we should put it up on iTunes.
Yeah, maybe this should be its own. I'm gonna definitely maybe put this as its own segment.
Yeah, do its own segment. Charge people.
I'm gonna put it on Facebook video. I am going to commit to everybody to at some point clipping all of our parody songs and putting them on one video loop so you can download it for be like 4 minutes long of me singing with my beautiful vocals. You know what? Mad respect to Adele because those notes that she hits is much harder than it sounds.
Yeah,
anyway, whatever. Let me know if you liked my Adele's rendition of "Hello." It's the Geek Dad Report.
or if you have some music, you can just give us.
Or if you think I sound like a dying goose who should be shot and put out of his misery and should never be heard from again, also let us know.
Whoa. It wasn't that bad.
All right, good.
You can't go to that extreme.
That's good. Please, no one shoot me. Oh, well, you know what? Whatever. On that note, welcome everybody to episode 64. Ooh. Hello, everybody. It's me. Now, welcome to episode 64 of the Geek Dad Report. The one show dedicated, formulated, specially created to ripping off artists like Adele and bringing you all the weekly news you need to know straight out of San Diego Comic-Con. With me, as always, Ryan Tomlinson, my beautiful, sexy, lovely, awesome, super poweredly great
male stripper
co-host, and I, of course, am Brian West, your hostess with the mostess. Mostess what? I'll leave that to your imagination.
Lead vocalist.
Lead vocalist. Yeah, I'm going to be backing up Adele any day now. I can feel it. She's going to be calling me. But we are here, like I said, to bring you everything you need to know so that you are, once again, the most awesome dude at your work. And definitely, you can tell Bob to go fuck himself at the water cooler.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, you don't know shit. I do, because I listen to Brian Ryan at the Geek Dad Report.
And then do a good old sack tap on him. And then, I don't know, is that still a thing? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a thing that'll land you in jail nowadays.
15 years, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, it's a thing that'll land you in jail. Millennials, they don't play that shit. I don't get it. It's weird.
Yeah, they're a bunch of pussies.
Well, we know whatever. We're not going to judge them too harshly because they may listen to our show. So millennials, if you like and subscribe our show, we will say you're awesome.
Yes, please subscribe.
Yeah, please subscribe. On that note, Ryan, would you like to tell everybody where they can find us and subscribe, like, and follow?
Well, we are on so many places. I don't understand how people don't find us. We're on Facebook at the Geek Dad Report, Twitter at the Geek Dad Report. You can find us on watchplayread.com, which is our mother site. We're on Podhell Media, on iTunes if you'd like to get us on audio only. Brian, you can find him, Brian West 53. No. Shit, I can't remember.
Brian West 53. At Brian West 53.
And I'm on Twitter as a Big Bruiser, and you're going to spell it wrong, so I'll never get anybody.
Well, would you like to spell it out for them?
BIGBRUSR. Please come find me on Twitter. I've had like 10 people follow me in the last couple of days, so.
I have a lot more than that follow me in the last couple of days.
So.
It's probably because of my beautiful voice and amazing singing ability.
Yes. So, yeah, if you can't find us, maybe we need to get like an Instagram or a Snapchat. I don't know. Can you do Snapchat?
No, we're not Snapchatting, okay? We're not doing any of that shit because we're not 12.
Okay. Well,
we're an adult podcast. We're the Geek Dad Report, not the Geek Child Report.
I'm trying to stay up with all the cool hip stuff.
Of course,
Brian.
It would be fun to see what your face would look like as a piece of toast. That might be kind of cool.
Yes. I've always wondered that.
You always wonder what you'd look like as a piece of toast?
Be like, when someone finds Jesus, but instead they found my face, on their toast.
It could be almost as valuable as a slice
They're like,
of toast.
oh my God, it's Ryan and Brian from the Geek Dad Report and my toast.
Let's see, what else? Oh, yeah, and please, for the love of God, subscribe to us on YouTube. We have some of our own faithful 50 who do not subscribe to us on YouTube. They're just lazy, and they're just like, oh, Brian and Ryan will just put it on our Facebook page on Friday, so why should we have to subscribe to the YouTube page? But you know what? I'm going to start. You know what I did this week? We did a comic review that I did not put on Facebook. So if you are not a subscriber to our YouTube page, you did not get all the awesomeness. That was our Black Hammer review. What is Black Hammer? You'll never know unless you check out our review on YouTube only.
And Black Hammer is fucking awesome. So.
Yeah, it's as cool as it sounds. So you should check that out. But anyway, please subscribe.
Yes. So
well, now we've covered all that. Do you have any quick Geek Dad moment of the week that you would like to talk about? Fly.
And I didn't. No. Honestly, right. It was a straight up being a dad, no geekery week. So
fair enough.
Sometimes it happens. Shit happens. What about you?
We're all busy dads. Plus, we're recording a day early, so your Geek Dad moment could have happened tomorrow, and now you'll never know. But you are in the future, so what is it? It's still Thursday over there, right?
What's that?
I said you're in the future though, so it's Thursday over there, right?
Yeah. It's Thursday in 2017.
I knew it. I need the lotto numbers. I still don't understand why you won't give those to me because you're a selfish bastard.
Yes. It's actually tomorrow is like the movie The Purge.
Yeah.
Well, that's a real thing now because Donald Trump is president, and
oh my God.
So, and it happened once a week.
Oh my God. I knew it. Don't vote for Trump, people. Sweet Jesus. I'm not saying vote for Hillary. I'm just saying don't vote for Trump because, we all want to live.
The last night report from the future,
dude,
I'm willing to bet. So
he actually told Russia that he encouraged Russia to hack Hillary Clinton.
No, don't. You're going to make me freak.
All right, anyway. My Geek Dad moment this week. I had a small little moment this week. It was kind of fun. My daughter is getting into with all the Pokemon stuff floating around nowadays.
Oh my God.
Yeah, one of her kids at daycare has plays Pokemon cards, and he asked her if she had any, and she said no. And so my wife bought her a booster set, and now my daughter wants me to tell her how to play, and I'm like, I don't know how to play Pokemon cards. But now I have to go buy a booster set, a starter pack, so I can learn how to play, so I can teach her how to play, so she can play with this other kid. So my daughter has officially entered the world of nerd gaming cards.
Want an easy way out?
Sure.
Go to the Pokemon trading card game online. It's free, and you can collect your own cards.
Yes, but her friend does not do it online. Her friend has real cards, so.
Oh no, she can use that to learn how to play.
Oh, okay, good idea. Well, she wants me to teach her, so I'll just have to teach her.
I'll just let you know, as when my son did the exact same thing, he has watched all 13 seasons of Pokemon.
Oh,
he just finished Pokemon XY.
Oh my god.
yesterday morning.
Yeah, what's up,
And
Pokemon XY?
he
That's the
went
booster pack here.
all the way back to season
that's
1,
the.
episode 1.
Oh my god. All right. Well, I'm
Yeah.
gonna say that I'm excited that my daughter's finally kind of diving into fun nerd card. I mean, I know how to play Magic and Star Wars cards. Hopefully, My wife apparently told me I can't teach her how to play Magic.
Really?
Yeah.
She's not old enough.
Well, it's not so much that
There's a lot of stuff that's going on with
some of the
like,
people that my wife
turn
has seen play Magic cards, she's a little worried about her interacting with those people.
No, it's just Magic. You have to tap cards, untap cards, and
Oh yeah, no, I know. Hey, I know how to play it. Would you want to challenge me? Do you want to challenge me to a Skype game of Magic? I got my deck. I'll go get it right now.
all of my Magic cards are unopened boxes that were given to me by Wizards of the Coast.
3 words, Ryan. 3 words. Goblin, grenade, bitch. I know they've been banned.
Enjoy losing all your money to Pokemons.
Whatever. All the Magic people who are sitting there yelling that goblin grenades have been banned. Yes, I know they've been banned, but I still use them. I don't give a shit. Because I'm a rebel and I don't play by tournament rules. Boom, boom, boom. Psh. Actually, I don't really play anymore at all. Nobody I know has Magic. Whatever. Anyway, on that note, let's just dive into the news, I guess. What do you think?
Yeah. San Diego Comic-Con happened.
Yeah, hang on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I think it's time for Ninja News, Ryan. Wah! Uppercut of knowledge. Boom. Eye gouge of information. And...
the Cobra Kai leg sweep
of
justice.
Ryan, there is no justice when it comes to information. Okay? We live in the digital age of lies. There's no justice ever when it comes to news. You know what? Whatever. I quit. You suck. You suck at this. That's all right. You have a pretty face. I'm not saying I'm a shallow person, but maybe I am saying I'm a shallow person. I don't know. I'll let you interpret that any way you feel, listeners, viewers, / followers. I don't know. Anyway, like Ryan said, San Diego Comic-Con news, a ton of it. There was a ton of things that happened, so we are going to fire through as much of this as possible. If we missed something that you wanted us to talk about, sorry. You should have hit us up on our Faithful 50 post where we gave everyone the opportunity to talk, put something they want us to talk about, but we are going to try and get as much as possible. So, on that note, we're going to start off with Marvel. Marvel had a big panel. A lot of people did not know what kind of panel they would have because Marvel kind of was being coy about how much they'd actually bring to Comic-Con, but they, in fact, brought a ton of stuff to Comic-Con. Unfortunately, me and Ryan were not at Comic-Con, so a lot of the footage and trailers they showed, they have not released online, so we do not know. We've not seen them. We have read the descriptions of a lot of them, so that's kind of what we're going to talk about tonight. But FYI, we did not see the trailers, and they've actually done a pretty good job of not releasing them online. So most people have not seen them online, so it's where you can find them. But first up, what do you want to talk about? Ryan.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Right.
Bright light. Bright light.
My computer is freaking this shit out right now.
All right, well, then I will lead with the first thing we shall talk about is Spider-Man Homecoming. They did not release any trailers, but they did release some concept art. They've officially confirmed that the Vulture is going to be the bad guy for Spider-Man Homecoming. They had a pretty badass piece of art where they had Vulture kind of swooping down on Spider-Man, on Peter Parker, and they showed his suit, which looks way different than I thought it was going to look. It has like these big giant blades, these fans inside it, kind of look like Tony Stark repulsors a little bit, kind of like the the helicarrier, the very first helicarrier with the blades.
Yeah,
kind of has those in the wings. Did you see the art?
Yeah, I saw the art. It looked fucking cool, honestly.
Yeah, the Vulture. I kind of like how they don't have him as like an old man in a feather suit. He's basically looks like a giant like airplane.
Well, I mean, I was really curious how, cause the comic book Vulture is kind of weird looking.
Dude, he's like this
old. At least
he's like a 90-year-old geezer
with like a long hooked nose,
who has a feather suit. He always gets defeated by Peter Parker jumping on his back and riding him into like a building or something.
Yeah, and this one looks. I like the updated design. So.
Yeah, well, they're definitely going with almost like an Iron Man. I mean, I know Spider-Man's suit was designed by Iron Man, so it kind of feels like this may be actually ripped off Stark Tech. The Vulture suit, it's definitely more of he's got a cool Vulture helmet. It's like a full-on pilot's face mask. He's got mechanical claws that look pretty menacing. and some, like I said, big ass wings that looks like he could just fly into to Spider-Man and just knock him the fuck out. So I don't know. I think it looks pretty cool.
I'm looking forward to Spider-Man. Ever since I saw him on the Avengers, it's the last couple of Spider-Man movies have not held up to what I was
No,
hoping.
in fact,
So,
well, me and you went and saw the Amazing Spider-Man 2, and we were both like,
uh, yeah, pretty much.
yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good either. So whatever. But no,
Yeah.
Spider-Man. This version of Spider-Man was awesome in Civil War, and I know I'm looking forward to him. Last little bit of Spider-Man news. They kind of released a full cast list and what some of those casts are going to be playing. No word yet on if any of them are going to be Miles Morales, that a lot of people think could possibly be in this movie as well. But there also appears to be multiple villains in this. It hasn't been completely confirmed, but some of the concept art shows that looks like the Shocker might be in this as well. So more news, obviously. This movie comes out next summer, so I'm sure probably around Christmas time we're going to get a whole shit ton of information and probably the first trailer. But actually, you know what? I bet you we get it. I'm calling it right now. We're going to get a trailer. We're going to get a Spider-Man Homecoming trailer with the Doctor Strange movie.
I would not disagree with you on that. And Doctor Strange did release their second trailer. Actually shows some special effects and
yes, he did.
And all that stuff.
Showed the villains?
I don't know what to think of it, honestly. I mean, it had like a lot of really cool effects. But it still doesn't excite me.
Yeah, no. Well, you know what? I'm glad somebody else said it. I am excited for Doctor Strange because I like Marvel. I like the character of Doctor Strange. And I'm a big Benedict Cumberbatch fan. I think this movie's going to be really good, but this trailer didn't excite me. Like you said, it's not exciting. It's weird. And it's weird. It's not weird in a good way. It's weird in a like, I don't know anything that I'm seeing right now way.
I mean, they're trying to introduce the world. Is it mysticism or is it magic?
It's magic. Well, mysticism, magic's kind of the same thing, but yeah, it's the world of magic, and it definitely looks like they're introducing the astral plane a little bit. So I don't know if they're introducing parallel universes or just the astral plane is what we're seeing. I mean, clearly it has an Inception kind of Matrix vibe to it.
Yeah,
but
it's like you said, there's just so much like folding stuff to happen that when you introduce what exactly he can do. I mean, it literally turns the whole Marvel universe inside out. I mean, I'm not trying to make a pun or anything like that. It's just it's so different, and his powers and everything. So
well, and I think also another thing that's kind of weird to me is they haven't showed any of the actual like combat. Like they've showed the bad guys and they showed the wizards, but how are they going to interact with each other? I mean, all we've seen is this weird like mind-bending kind of world-shaping powers. We haven't actually seen them. I mean, and we saw Doctor Strange kind of, use his fingers, and he's got the little, the mystical circles around his hands, the green circles he's using his powers. And you've seen a few people fly, but what kind of, say what you want to about Marvel. I like watching the fight scenes. That's kind of what I love about Marvel. They do great fight scenes. How are they going to fight with the bad guys? What are we actually going to get? We've gotten a lot of weird.
They're just going to stand on opposite sides of the room, just going.
Yeah, I mean, is this going to be a Harry Potter where they swing their hands and shoot magical fire bolts out of their ass at each other, or is this going to be? Yeah. I just don't know. And this trailer, as cool as it is, it's not exciting. Like you said, it's just kind of.
Like y'all see it.
I'm sure it'll be good. I'm sure when we'll see it, we'll say, yeah, this is a great movie. Marvel does good stuff.
People will go to it because it's a Marvel movie. But
and I'm sure it'll be quality.
They do a really good job of explaining the magic and how it's going to tie into everything. And I think it has a really big potential to just confuse the shit out of a lot of people.
Well, I think their next trailer, they need a much clearer trailer. I feel this is definitely a movie that's relying on the fact that it's a Marvel movie to kind of move it.
It's 100% relying on the fact that it's a Marvel movie.
And so I would like to see. I mean, Marvel usually does a really good job with their promotions, and it's not. This isn't a bad trailer. It's just a confusing one. I'm not really sure exactly what's going on in this universe that they're trying to show us. And I think the third trailer, I think the next major trailer they release, I would like to see a much more clear look. You don't have to spoil anything, but just kind of tell me the movie I'm in for instead of this weird. Don't be so trippy. But give us a little more like, hey, this is kind of what you can expect a little bit more. Maybe they are. Maybe that trailer is what we can expect. And if that's the case, you may have a movie that is going to be successful, but maybe not Marvel successful.
Yeah. Well, and if you want to speak about promotion,
Yeah.
you have Marvel's Thor Ragnarok. They're literally like a week into filming. Like I didn't think they even done a week worth, but they already
Dude.
had like a presence on the.
Did you see? So one of the trailers they released during their Thor Ragnarok panel at Hall H was they released a kind of behind the scenes footage of what Hulk and Thor were doing during Civil War, and they showed a video of Chris Hemsworth as Thor and like Bruce Banner playing chess. And they're just
I read about the video, but I couldn't find it.
dude, it was they had a clip on it. I saw one of the other I think comicbook.com had it on there. It was just a quick video of like it was clearly meant to be tongue in cheek and fun, but it was great. I'm already
and then so
this is already the most excited I am for a Marvel movie. I am more excited for Thor Ragnarok than I am excited for the Infinity Wars, than Doctor Strange, than even Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm more excited for Thor Ragnarok than any of the other Marvel movies coming out. And just because they showed the fucking gladiator armor that Hulk's gonna wear.
So anybody, like we mentioned earlier, Marvel did not. We'll talk a little bit later about DC and kind of how they did things a little different this year. And one of the things they did that was awesome was they released all their footage they showed at their panel online to the public. Marvel did not.
And they had it at their booth too.
Yeah, and they had it at their booth. Marvel did not, and so. Apparently, there's a lot of footage shown that people talked about and described later, but we have not seen it. It hasn't been leaked online. But apparently, one of the scenes that they did show at Hall H for the Thor Ragnarok panel was Hulk in full-on gladiator mode, like he had his gladiator gear from World War Hulk or from Planet Hulk, sorry, and he's jumping down and fighting in this pit against a freaking fire demon. Like, he's literally going to blows with this giant fire demon. I don't care what this movie's about. It can literally have no plot. I am already the most excited I've ever been for a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
It is Thor. It is Hulk. It is cosmic space road trip that incorporates elements of Thor Ragnarok, Planet Hulk, and demons.
Yes. And Hera.
And Hera
and Loki.
And Loki, I'm so sold on everything on this movie already. I don't even care. I just put it. I don't need a trailer.
Yeah.
I do not need a trailer.
No, I don't. I just need it in my eyeballs right now. That's all I need. I need to be on set watching everything be done.
Yeah, one thing that's pretty cool is a lot of people took pictures. They had the Hulk gladiator armor on display at the Marvel booth, and so a lot of people took pictures and put it online, so we shared those on our Facebook page. You can check them out. Let us know what you think. But if you don't understand why me and Ryan are so excited for this, I know we've mentioned it on the show so many times, but please, for the love of God, buy or get Marvel Unlimited for a month and then cancel it, but get the Planet Hulk trade paperback from Marvel. It is one of the best series I have ever read.
If your library has a good graphic novel selection, they will have it.
It is honestly one of the best graphic novels I've ever read for Marvel, and I think everyone should own it, and then own the follow-up World War Hulk. It's not as good of a story, but it has all the payoff from what builds up in
Planet Hulk followed by World War Hulk was... You loaned them both to me.
I told you, like, you got to read these.
Fucking awesome.
And the thing about this is, maybe as far as the Hulk goes, people like the Hulk, don't like the Hulk. Maybe you think the Hulk doesn't have a huge range or can't tell a dramatic story. That's why you should read World War Hulk. I don't think he's ever had a better story, and it honestly ends up being one of the best stories. I mean, if you like Conan, then imagine Hulk as Conan.
But just the more angry he gets,
the
stronger he gets.
So good. But anyway, they're incorporating. It's been long rumored they were going to incorporate elements into a movie. And it looks like it's going to happen. So
and follow Mark Ruffalo on Twitter, because apparently they're just letting him talk about whatever he wants while he's on set.
Well, he's got videos of him running around with these Hulk hands, like smashing.
Yeah,
things.
and then like the one where he's got like all the dots on his face and stuff like that.
These guys look like Chris Hemsworth is having a blast. I don't even know who's directing this, honestly, off the top of my head. But they all look like they are having a ton of fun. I want to say the director, though, I believe he's known to do comedies, so the rumor is this is going to have a ton of humor in it as well. And I'm just...
That's what you need. I think we need a Marvel movie that's not serious, that's just fucking just go for it.
Yeah, and I think...
Be like fucking hilarious and do fucking crazy ass shit.
And I think Thor Ragnarok is going to be the one that does it. I mean, if you ever wanted a scenario where you could just tell these guys to just have fun and we're going to do the craziest shit known to man, this is the movie to do it in. So, Hulk fights a fire demon, people. A fire demon.
Hulk
Hulk
in battle armor. Hulk battle armor. That's all I needed. I know.
Well, Iron Man. Oh, once again, remember, people, don't use this to actually pull out hot things. It'll burn your hand off. Recalled.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah, that's as you can tell, me and Ryan are very excited for Thor Ragnarok. And another thing we are really excited for is Thor. Another thing we're excited Thor. So you got Thor on the brain now.
Thor.
You shouldn't have said Thor. Now I'm not going to be able to concentrate on anything else tonight. Guardians of the Galaxy Vol.2 also had a big presence at the Marvel panel, and it was finally announced that Kurt Russell is in fact Star-Lord's father, which most of us speculated. But what we did not anticipate is they actually announced who he's going to be playing. He's going to play, what is it, Ego? The living planet, the sentient planet. So,
yes, and if you Wikipedia, yes, you will find a picture of a giant planet with a face on it.
Star-Lord's dad is a planet that is alive.
But according to like a costume that was done, he has a humanoid shape.
So a lot of people have speculated a couple things. What I've heard is that one of two things is going to happen is that it could be like a whole Wizard of Oz situation that they play it like you think the planet's alive, but really it's a guy inside the planet who's kind of manipulating it, like kind of almost like a spacecraft, and that's Kurt Russell. The other thing I've heard, the other theory I've heard is that the planet, because it's a sentient, has like an emissary form where it can take shape into a humanoid form so it can communicate with people and talk to people in a way that they would understand. And so some people believe that is what Kurt Russell's going to be.
I mean, the planet's been around for eons.
I kind of wonder how Kurt Russell's planet showed up to Earth.
It's like as old as the Celestials, isn't it?
Honestly, I don't know that much about Ego, honestly, to tell you the truth. I'd have to look it up.
I had the Marvel card in like 5th grade.
Dude,
and I was like,
James Gunn is going deep.
Space planet. Great.
James Gunn is going deep into the Marvel celestial space opera part of their comic book collections. But, I do wonder how even in the 70s a giant planet could show up hovering around Earth, and then, he just hops on Earth to make sweet whoopee with Star-Lord's mom.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, you know what, James Gunn, you got some splaining to do. But hell, we're all on board to watch this movie.
Better be a good soundtrack as well.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. I think they've already announced a whole bunch of the songs. A couple other things they've announced is, why can't I remember his name? Who's the blue guy with the cool whistle dart that goes around? Yondu.
Yeah.
Michael Rooker. He's officially part of the Guardians of the Galaxy team now. So they showed a clip, and he's a good guy. Him and Nebula apparently are on the team now. Baby Groot apparently is going to be small Groot for most of the movie. So
really?
Yeah.
He's gonna be Baby Groot for it.
I don't know if he's gonna grow up and be like young adult Groot, but yeah, they're definitely growing him as this movie goes. So it's not gonna be he's gonna be tall Groot. So there's a few different things in this, but yeah, Yondu is gonna be part of the team. So if you thought it was pretty cool seeing him using his, like I said, his flute dart to kill people, well, it sounds like there's gonna be a lot of that in this. So, but yeah, it sounds exciting. I'm excited for Guardians of the Galaxy. Honestly, I'm not excited like some of these other things, like Thor Ragnarok or some of the other trailers we're gonna talk about later. But I know it's gonna be great. I can't wait to see it, and I'm sure when it gets close to being released, I'll be super excited for it.
What about the Captain Marvel announcement?
Oh yeah, that actually. So we reported a few weeks ago on the show that Brie Larson was the #1 contender to play Captain Marvel, but nothing had been officially announced. Well, they officially announced it. Brie Larson is in fact going to be your new Captain Marvel. I think it's a great bit of casting. I mean, she's a really good actress. She was actually in the new Kong Skull Island trailer that we'll talk about here in a second. But no, she's a great actress. She just won an Academy Award, and I think Marvel's done a great job of starting to collect these really good actors and actresses. And I think the more, especially Academy Award winning people they can bring into either, direction or acting or screenwriting or any of these things, I think it legitimizes and keeps these movies good. They're not slacking off. They're not saying we're Marvel and we're just not going to bring in the top talent. they're willing to bring in and pay for the top talent because they want their movies to be, number one, taken seriously, and two, to be good.
Do you think that there's a vast majority of people, mostly women, that are saying that it has to be directed by a female? What about?
I don't think it has to be necessarily directed by a female, but I think that Marvel would be smart to do that. I would actually really like to see Angelina Jolie direct this. She's kind of a up and coming female director who's done some really good movies. I think she would be really good for this. She's she's acted in some pretty good action movies in her day, and so I think she could kind of direct that part. Now, the special effects, she's never done anything super special effects heavy, and there are other actresses out there directors other than Angelina Jolie. But me personally, I know she's expressed interest in the project, and well, I've heard, I don't know personally, but
Yeah.
but I think she'd be a great director. I would like to see a female director. Wonder Woman has a female director doing this. Was it Patty Jenkins, I believe, is directing the Wonder Woman movie, and I think that's going to pay dividends for this movie. But yes, ultimately, I would prefer to see a female director do this. But if they could get a really good male director that understands, his female characters,
like what's his name from Ghostbusters and
yeah, Paul Feig or Paul Feig, or even
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams has done some great things with his female characters. So there are directors who do great works with their female leads. So I definitely think if you don't get a female director, you have to get one of those directors who understands how to direct a female lead in a way that is not just, all right, you woman, go over there and do something,
woman
So
stuff.
I would like to see. I still think that some of these movies, more importantly than even directors, I think we need to get some female screenwriters in here to write some of these movies. The Wonder Woman movie is being written by a man still, so I don't know who's writing Captain Marvel yet. It hasn't been announced, but I think that's another step that they could do. If you don't always get and it's not that every movie with a woman has to be directed and written and everything about a woman, but let's be honest. I mean, nobody understands a girl like a girl. So, it would be nice to definitely see some of these females.
Are you trying to say that the old white guys that are executive producers that want to have their say don't understand what it's like to be a woman?
Well, when you have a movie that has glorious 30-second butt shots of their female leads, I do not think that would be the case if it was directed by a female. Now, as a male,
They need to lean in on more scenes.
Well, and I think movies for instance, I think when you get a female director, you can still have those sexy shots where guys like me go, "Hey, yeah, Wonder Woman looks hot." But you can do it in a way that's not just gratuitous, look at my butt. You can, Wonder Woman, the new Wonder Woman, I don't want to keep talking about Wonder Woman. We are going to talk at length about that in a minute. But the new Wonder Woman trailer, she looks sexy as hell, and it's not because they're just staring at her boobs the entire time, because she looks strong and she looks powerful and she just looks amazing, and she acts amazing, and her dialogue's amazing. So she's sexy because of that. So I think when you get a female director or writer, they can have their female characters be strong and sexy in a way without just being what's the word I'm looking for? I'm drawing a blank, but without just, like I said, staring at their butt and being like, "Hey, look, this is sexy." That's not sexy. That's just I can't think tonight.
Speaking of Warner, are we done with? I want to jump into DC
yeah, we are.
stuff.
We've already ran long on Marvel stuff. I do want to talk real quick before we move on to our DC stuff. Marvel also had some Marvel television news. They did the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. officially announced that Ghost Rider is going to be coming to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We talked about it last week. It's not going to be Johnny Blaze. It's going to be the brothers. I forget their names. I think Ray's. Anyway, it's going to be a different Ghost Rider. They have a car instead of a motorcycle, and they're Latino. It's a Latino guy and his brother who are they're not together. Apparently, Ghost Rider is one person, and his brother helps him do some stuff. So, but those two have been cast in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They sound pretty cool, but they are definitely coming, so that's big news for the MCU. Hopefully, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will finally find a way to either interact with the movies or the other Netflix shows, but I'm not holding my breath.
We'll see.
Marvel also had trailers
Netflix
for
Daredevil Season 3.
Yeah, Daredevil. We talked about that last week. Daredevil Season 3 is coming out. But they did come Netflix. The Netflix series came with a Luke Cage trailer, which looks awesome. Looks amazing. Check it out. That's coming out in September of this year, so that's coming soon. They had a very brief Iron Fist trailer. Didn't really show that much about Iron Fist, but it got me excited. It looked pretty cool. The Flower Knight.
I just want to say that the Luke Cage trailer,
Looks awesome.
it was so goddamn good. He was the
God.
best part of. I hated Jessica Jones. We've talked about it before. We got more thumb down on the episode.
Yeah, people hated us for saying it,
about
but
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones was
the
boring.
most disliked episode we'd ever had.
It was boring. All you people can hate us. It was boring.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I can open up doors by crumpling them.
yeah, her superpower was to be a whiny blah. But anyway.
Anyways, Luke Cage trailer.
Luke Cage was the best part of Jessica Jones, and his trailer is amazing. When he takes that car door, rips it off, uses it as a shield, and then wraps it around a guy.
Yeah.
If you don't know what we're talking about, watch the Luke Cage trailer. We don't have to wait long. That comes out in September, and we are super excited for it.
Yes.
Like I said, Iron Fist comes out, I believe, next February, so that's shooting right now, so I'm sure we'll see more of a trailer probably at the end of the Luke Cage series. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we get a Luke Cage cameo. And I wouldn't even mind a Jessica Jones cameo as long as she's actually not whiny and bitchy the whole time.
And opening doors by breaking handles.
And her superpower is to jump one floor that you don't even get to see because they cut away. Whatever, man. My problem isn't necessarily with the character of Jessica. I mean, she was kind of whiny and unlikable. But my biggest problem, I just was not a fan of that series. It was slow, boring, and Purple Man was awesome, and so was Luke Cage. Luke Cage was amazing. But and the other thing that we saw was a Defenders kind of teaser. It wasn't really a trailer. Didn't have any actual footage. The only thing that was pretty awesome is that they played Nirvana. They played a Nirvana song, and they had like the logos of each of Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Jessica Jones, like, pull up into like a hand like this. So clearly the hand is going to be the main villain in the Defenders. And then when the hand came up, it said the Defenders across it. But the best part was it had Scott Glenn's Stick character from Daredevil in the background's like, how are you going to save the world when you can't even save yourselves? And he's just being an asshole. It's so great. But it got me really excited. That, I believe, comes out next June. So next up, Luke Cage, then Iron Fist early next year, and then the Defenders. And then at some point, we're getting a Jessica Jones Season 2, hopefully a much improved Jessica Jones Season 2, and Daredevil Season 3. So a lot of things are happening for Netflix. And at some point, we're getting a Punisher series.
And they're talking about, Punisher, like you just said.
So I don't know when that'll happen, but we're very excited about that. So, moving on for some Marvel news to the DC universe. So this is where we want to blow our proverbial Geek Dad Report news load because there was so much awesome that happened with Warner Brothers. And I have to say that if anybody won Comic-Con, it was DC/Warner Brothers. They crushed it this year.
And they did a good job of they released the trailers that they showed like the next day. And then at their booth, they had a giant screen that just had all the trailers they've shown so far on loop.
Yeah.
So people could watch them.
Well,
and I think that approach is a good billion times better than what they try and this secret Comic-Con footage you can't show anybody. Like everyone's gonna find it. It's gonna get online.
Well, look at the Suicide Squad. I think Warner Bros. Learned their lesson last year with Suicide Squad. They released a finished trailer that leaked online. They didn't want it leaked online. They threw a big hissy fit about it. But because it got out, everybody loved it. There's been nothing but a whole entire year of good buzz about Suicide Squad to the point where it opens. I'm going to see it on Monday, so we'll definitely have I'll do a full review, and then we'll definitely have a special on our next episode for the Suicide Squad. But it's scheduled to open to like 125 million, and I think that number could actually be low. I think it could open to Deadpool numbers because I think people are really, really excited about this movie.
Oh yeah.
And from what I'm hearing so far, it's pretty good. So they learned their lesson and they said, you know what? We have these trailers ready. We had a Justice League trailer. We had a Wonder Woman trailer. We had all these TV show trailers. We're just gonna release them all. We're gonna hit them up online the moment we release them. And you know what? The internet has been doing nothing but talking about all these trailers we just talked about. But we're going to dive into the two we really want to talk about in a second. But before we hit those, I just want to mention the DC Universe, CW Universe released some trailers. I don't think there was a Supergirl one. I did not see that. But
no, I didn't see any Supergirl.
They released an Arrow one.
It was all right.
Looks like he's building a new team. I think it looks like he's not going to be affected that much by Flashpoint, which I'm giving Arrow 5 episodes. I told you. And then I'm done with Arrow because it was so bad last season. So hopefully they can get their shit together. Legends of Tomorrow, kind of the same thing. It wasn't great last year, but I'll give it a second season. But it does look kind of exciting what they maybe have planned. They're bringing in the Justice Society of America. But they're definitely looking to expand the DC universe with Legends of Tomorrow. But the big winner, in my opinion, like you said, was the Flash season 3 premiere of Flashpoint. It looks, I mean, it almost made you tear up just watching the trailer.
I know, and like, you know, he goes to like see Iris, like, who are you? It's like,
Run, Barry, run. And everybody's different, and there's just so much emotional. And you see him with his parents and how happy he is in his life. It is going to be amazing.
Like, Joe doesn't even know him. You're like, come on.
Well, just typical Flash. They start off with all the feeling, all the positivity, and then slowly as the trailer goes, gets darker and darker, and all of a sudden it's just like, then you see the black costume Flash that's not Zoom, but it's this some other Flash, and then you get to see Kid Flash, who looks awesome.
Yeah. I'm see reverse.
Oh yeah, you get to see reverse. You get to see reverse Flash,
like in a cage or something.
Yeah, and he's yelling at Barry, "Who's the villain now, Barry? Who's the villain now?" It looks amazing.
He knows what happened because he's like, "You fucked up with everything, Barry.
You screwed the timeline. Congratulations, dumbass."
Yeah.
If you have not seen the trailer, watch the trailer. Let us know what you think. If you have not watched Flash, go to Netflix. Both seasons are online and watch them. It's amazing. It's an amazing show.
It's the best comic book on TV right now.
But that said, so real quick before I touch base on the other Warner Brothers, I did want to mention the Kong Skull Island trailer. I don't know if you watched it. It was pretty goddamn good. I was very skeptical about another King Kong movie coming out, but this one looks really good. It's kind of set in the 70s. It's got Samuel L. Jackson being Samuel L. Jackson, and it's got like a 500-foot gorilla. So
yeah, I haven't seen that one yet, but Killing Joke is also coming out too.
Yeah, I'm hearing
I don't think they did anything at Comic-Con, but I'm hearing some.
No, they screened it at Comic-Con. Apparently there was. Apparently the fans. Some of the fans weren't happy with some of their choices, and apparently some of the writers and the fans actually got into it, and people were called. Apparently there was bad language thrown at between the fans and some of the writers. Apparently it kind of turned into a little bit of a shit show, but. I don't know. I'm hearing mixed reviews. I'm hearing some people say they really like Killing Joke. Some people say they absolutely hated it. Apparently, some people are very unhappy with their depiction of Batgirl, which we knew was going to happen anyway, considering how much Batgirl fans hate the Killing Joke in general. So we are going to watch it. I don't know if do you know if our DC guy is going to send us a copy early, or are we going to have to wait till August?
They had mentioned it. So it comes out next week. So.
If it comes out early, if we get it this weekend, we'll try and. But if not, I guess it's coming out next Tuesday. So we'll try and have a review for you guys next episode. We'll have a DC heavy episode next week. We'll have a Suicide Squad review and a Killing Joke review for you guys. So we'll let you know when we hear anything. But we are excited for that. Another thing we're pretty excited for: Lego Batman released a full blown trailer. It looks freaking hilarious.
Yeah, I'm going to be buying that movie. I'm going to see it probably at least once with the kids in the theater, and then I know it's going to be like a day one purchase.
Yeah, well, the big gimmick is that not even gimmick, but the big plot point in this is they're adding Robin, so
When Robin first puts on his costume,
he's like, "Oh, it's so tight. I don't have any air," and then he rips his pants off, and he's like, "Oh, this is so much better. It's so breezy." If you have not watched the trailer, like I said, all the trailers that we've talked about. I put up on our Facebook page. Check them out. Let us know what you think about them. But I could literally have Will Arnett as Batman, Lego Batman, in everything all the time. He's so great as Batman. I'm really excited about that. Another little side note, it's not a DC property, but Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them released a new trailer, also from Warner Brothers. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I don't know if you've seen it, but I'm not worried about this movie. I think it's going to be good because it's written by J.K. Rowling and it's a Harry Potter universe movie. But none of these trailers inspire me or get me really excited. It's more like if I didn't know it was a Harry Potter movie, I'd be like, whatever. This looks all right.
The trailer looks like you're going to be watching like a TV show.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't grab me like the Harry Potter movies did.
It seemed like it was like, here's with the pilot.
So I think they're having a hard time figuring out how to promote that because it's not a Harry Potter movie, but they have to remind people that it is. So, I don't know. But anyway, Fantastic Beasts, Where to Find Them, new trailer's out. Let us know what you think and if you're excited for it. But the last two things we want to talk about the last two DC things we want to talk about from Comic-Con is, Wonder Woman.
Which one do you want to go first?
Wonder Woman looked fucking amazing. Holy shit, it blew my mind. It absolutely blew my mind.
Yeah, Brian is already pre-ordering the poster,
Yeah.
and
Well, first they released a poster that is I'm in love with.
yes, he already he ordered 5 of them. Two of
Yes.
them are gonna go on his ceiling, one above his part of the bed, and one above his wife's part of the bed, so that she can share in the experience. And I'm pretty sure you just flash them all over the rest of your house.
Yeah, probably. But you know what? Yes, I love Wonder Woman, and the poster is amazing. They're doing a fantastic job marketing this. The trailer, we could literally spend an hour breaking down this
Yeah.
trailer. It
So
looked.
basically, just gonna be it's in World War I as a setting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, Diana's basically awesome, and I think that kind of how she can be more introduced to the modern time because she's what like 4,000, 5,000 years old. I mean,
Yeah, she's 5,000 years old, and she's an absolute badass. She's never been to the world of men, and now she's finally getting to the world of men, and she decided that she's going to help Chris Pine, who crash lands on her island. But it doesn't matter. It's so amazing. I don't even want to talk about it. Just watch the trailer. It shows her lasso. She's like turned her lasso into a weapon, and she's beating the shit out of people. Like, she is a force to be reckoned with in this trailer. And I'm giving, if this movie is half as good as the trailer is, I'm giving credit to Patty Jenkins, the director. I'm giving credit to Warner Bros. I'm giving credit to everybody, because this movie could be the surprise best movie of the year next year. I am so sold on Wonder Woman. It made me, when I saw the Justice League trailer, go, it's good, but it's not as good as that Wonder Woman trailer.
yeah, and the Justice League trailer is fucking awesome on its own right. I mean, it's you got Ben Affleck going, trying to collect the people, trying to collect the new members of the Justice League, and I think they had I've never seen Bruce Wayne in such a comedic element.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think they really.
Well, you can tell the tone of Justice League is definitely much lighter than Batman v Superman, which, screw the haters, the ultimate cut is amazing.
A million times lighter.
Yeah, I mean, it's a much lighter. There's a great scene. If you haven't seen the trailer, we definitely recommend you watch Justice League trailer. There's a great scene.
At least for the Barry Allen scene.
Yeah, there's a great scene where Batman's recruiting everybody, and he meets Flash for the first time, and he's like, "Hi, I'm Bruce Wayne," and he's like, and Barry Allen's like, "Okay, first of all, why are you in my house in my second favorite chair? And two, is that supposed to mean something to me?" Yeah. And then he throws the Batarang at him, and you see Barry kind of step into the Speed Force, and everything slows down, and then you see him see the Batarang and realize that it's Batman.
Looking at the Batarang.
And he's like, "Holy crap,
but
it's Batman!"
The best part was where Batman, Bruce Wayne, launching to his spiel of, "I'm forming a group, and we're going to..." But he doesn't even get that far, and he's like, "I'm going to stop you right there. I'm in." And he's like, "Really? You're in?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm in. I need friends."
Yeah, I need some friends. And then it shows Aquaman, who looks awesome, Cyborg, who looks awesome. But yeah, like Aquaman, they finally made Aquaman a badass. But at the very end of the trailer, when he's like, "I hear you speak to fish." The movie just has a much lighter tone. It looks really good so far for what we've seen. And I don't know. I think it did the job. I think it those who did not like Batman v Superman, I think this kind of helps get the bad taste out of their mouth and says, you know what, Justice League is going to have the things you liked from Batman v Superman, but it's going to be a little bit different. Now, it didn't show Superman. We kind of glossed over Cyborg. I felt like Cyborg had the weakest presentation in the trailer. It showed him, but it didn't really give you much about him.
Were they showing... Was Superman being buried?
No, Superman wasn't even in the trailer. But it did show Flash in his costume, which looked awesome. So
I thought they showed... I thought the only thing they showed of Superman was him, they're burying him or something.
Maybe. I have to watch
Maybe
it.
I was thinking of something else.
Yeah, I don't remember any Superman stuff in there.
But we're running long. So.
Yeah, but we're running long. But ultimately, we were really impressed with the Justice League trailer. I mean, we like Batman v Superman. I love the Ultimate Edition, but this movie definitely looks like a funner, lighter type of movie that maybe a lot more people would has a broader appeal. More of kind of what we've seen with Suicide Squad so far. Looks like it's translated into the Justice League. So I just hope that in an effort to make this movie more likable, they don't lose some of the edge that Batman v Superman did have that made it kind of a different type of superhero movie. So. But overall, like we said, Warner Brothers crushed it. If you have not watched these trailers, watch them. They're all amazing. Yeah. They released a Suicide Squad trailer. We're not talking about it because I didn't actually watch it because the movie's coming out in 4 days for me, and there's no point watching more footage.
I watched it. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I heard there's more Batman and more Joker.
A lot of Harley Quinn in it. So.
Apparently, it's kind of leaking out that possibly there's more Batman in this movie than people are are anticipating. So that might be kind of cool. Any chance we get to see Ben Affleck's Batman, I'm in. Fucking in.
Yeah.
I wonder if that had something to do with some of the reshoots. I wonder if because people love Batman so much, they're like, man, let's just sneak in some Justice League stuff in this movie.
Yeah, let's just throw in some Flash.
Yeah. So anyway, last little bit of news, a couple little random things I just want to throw out there. Starz released a trailer for American Gods, their new TV show that looks amazing. Check that out. Let's see what else we got. Fox released an Exorcist and a Legion trailer for their two new shows. Also look pretty good. Check those out. Let us know what you think. And let's see here. I'm skimming through the news to make sure I didn't miss anything. Did I miss anything, Ryan?
I don't see anything.
Yeah, I missed one thing. Apparently Star Wars is, LucasArts is possibly planning a Han Solo trilogy. Whatever.
Unneeded.
Unnecessary.
Yes.
I do reserve the right to, after I watch the first Han Solo movie, to be like, okay, I need more of this in my life. But as of right now, I don't really care that much.
I'm fine. Don't need anything Han Solo.
Yeah, give me my Obi-Wan Kenobi. Give me my Obi-Wan Kenobi solo movie. Also, they released Sci-Fi Channel released a Expanse season 2 trailer. Looks great. If you have not watched the Expanse,
awesome.
Me and Ryan
gotta watch it.
Highly recommend it.
Yes, I think we both recommended it on the show last year. So.
All right, and then the last two stories here real quick. Sega Genesis, in response to Nintendo's Mini, is releasing a Sega Genesis Classic, which has 80 games, not just 30. It's going to be awesome. Check it out. And John Constantine is finally... Matt Ryan is coming back as John Constantine, but not on the CW. He's going to be voicing John Constantine in the new Justice League Dark movie, which they screened some footage for, and people said it looked really good. So, looking forward to that. That is the next, I believe that is the next DC animated movie after Killing Joke.
Yeah, it's the one that after Killing Joke.
So if you don't know who Matt Ryan is, he's the guy who played Constantine in the short-lived NBC series, which I liked a lot, and
he had an episode on Arrow,
which was amazing, which was probably the best highlight of last season on Arrow. But yeah. So he can't quite quit Constantine, which is good news for anybody who loves him as the character. So I'd say that's all, but Jesus, that was a lot of news.
Yes, and we probably got like half of it, honestly.
Yeah, there was some other stuff. Like we said, there was going to be stuff we missed. We apologize if there's something you want us to talk about. We'd be more than happy to talk about it on next week's show. If there was something that you'd like to hear our thoughts on, or that we skimmed over because we went over so much shit.
Or like actual comic book stuff, because it is a Comic-Con, but we only touched the movies.
There was a ton of comic book news, but we're going to rely on you guys to let us know what you'd like to hear us talk about that we missed, and we would be more than happy to talk about it next week's show. So hit us up on our Facebook page, or just hit us up directly and at one of our Twitter accounts, or over text messaging or email at geekdadraport@gmail.com. You could email us, and we would be more than happy to talk about it next week. Until then, though, that's the end of Ninja News. We're moving on to the Faithful 50. And you know what? After last week's, stern talking to, people came strong this week.
Yes, everyone was falling in line, which is exactly what we like. Because
I think it was because I had an awesome post.
We appreciate order in the GDR army.
Yeah, we do. We need strict regulations and rules and severe consequences for those who don't fall in line.
Yes.
All right, so first up, Jeff. Faithful 50 Jeff, who actually sent us both a direct message apologizing for not being on last week's episode. So, Jeff, we'd like to thank you for acknowledging your insubordination and your failure as a Faithful 50 private first class, but we forgive you.
You got your 1 week reprieve for being, I think he was physically injured.
Yeah, and we do forgive you. So we wish you a speedy recovery, and thanks for being a loyal listener and viewer.
Yes.
He had a couple questions. His first question was, he wanted to know, Batman v Superman is still currently sitting at 28% on Rotten Tomatoes. He wants to know if WB had released the Ultimate Edition instead of the theatrical edition, what we think the overall Rotten Tomatoes score would have been.
I think it would have been probably a fresh rating, honestly.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think Ryan's actually watched the Ultimate Edition yet. I have, but we've talked a lot about it, obviously. I would have probably said it would probably sit somewhere in the 70s. There's still some stuff about this film that is very decisive with people, and I think a lot of people just wanted to hate this movie regardless. So I don't think it would have gotten a Marvel score, in the high 90s or low 90s, high 80s. But I do think, like Ryan said, it would have been certified fresh, and I think it would have been somewhere around probably 72, 73, somewhere probably between like 68 and 73 would be my guess.
Which is essentially a 50-point swing. So
that's a massive
I mean,
swing.
that's 30 minutes that could have given you a shitload more money.
Well, and like we
So
talked about last week, I clearly believed it would have crossed the $1 billion mark. I think it would have made at least $200 more had they released this cut because it was just a much better movie.
you
So,
know,
and it was a much more coherent movie. All right, Jeff also, since he didn't have a question last week, had a follow-up question. Well, not really follow-up, but a second question. He wanted to know if we had to get one line of dialogue from a movie tattooed on our body, what would it be?
oh shit.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, off the top of your head.
I do have one off the top of my head. I'm gonna go something geeky, but also very deep. No fate, but what you make. Terminator 2, right across my arm. That's right.
I'm thinking,
Or maybe get to the chopper, right on my neck.
God, I was just gonna say, get to the chopper, but it's gotta be chopper.
I feel like you need a Conan the Barbarian quote.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's always what's best in life, but that's kind of like.
That's a long. You'd have to get like one of those chick rib tattoos with that one, and then it kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah, I want to get like a dual. I want to get a dual snake tattoo. That's my
Ooh,
two
yeah,
snake
with
heads.
Crom, like Crom, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I would do something like Grom, like exclamation mark.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So-
My wife would never allow it, but you know.
No fate of what you
Whatever.
make. Just like the Geek Dad Report, we're going on top. Hello, from the freaking top. That's gonna be us. Boom.
Yeah.
One
So
day.
get to the chopper on my neck,
Yeah.
and then Crom, I'll put it like right above my penis.
Yeah. I would probably get Who's Your Daddy, right here, on this
Yeah.
side, which leads into our next question from Evil Chris from the Utah Outcast.
Thank you, Evil Chris.
Thank you, Evil Chris. And by the way, we like me and Ryan would both like to say that we're supremely jealous of your super awesome new Mac and your amazing new show. If you haven't checked out Evil Chris's show at the Utah Outcast, it looks amazing now that he had a hardware upgrade. What a dick!
And all your lovely comments that people shower on you.
Yeah, Chris recently had someone tell him to kill himself. So that's we'd like to thank the YouTube.
Yeah, we'd like to
community
thank our people for not telling us to do that.
Yeah,
But
I'd like
what
to
is
say
Chris's
for the
question?
record, Evil Chris from the Utah Outcast, that one of the faithful 50 did not leave that comment.
Yes.
We have the best viewers on YouTube. Very courteous people. But that leads us into Chris's Evil Chris's comment question. He wants to know who is our daddy and what does he do. I don't know. I was abandoned as a child, so I don't know that question. Thanks for bringing up painful memories, you asshole.
My dad's a contractor.
I want to know who's your daddy, Chris, and what does he do? How about that?
Yeah.
You know what I know my dad doesn't do? Leave hateful comments on my YouTube page. I'll tell you that. I mean, maybe he does because I don't know him.
He lashes back at a lifetime of ignoring you and
Yeah.
then by
Where's my drink? The show went too deep. It cuts deep. All right. Let's see. Jeremy from Washington wants to know what was the most exciting movie preview that we saw from San Diego Comic-Con? Wonder Woman.
Justice League.
Yeah, it's a toss-up between those two, but I'm gonna go with Wonder Woman.
Good. I think DC just fucking owned it.
But I may lean towards my crazy love for Wonder Woman. That may be what put this over the edge for me.
Mhm. I'm
Let's
sure
see.
your wife is just so gonna be pissed at you for like the week that it comes out.
Are you
Just
kidding me?
like,
My
all you're
wife
gonna
loves that
talk
I
about.
love Wonder Woman. My wife is a 6-foot tall, dark-haired female. Of course she thinks Wonder Woman's fine.
Yes.
Let's see. Good Chris from Washington. And just for the record, I want Evil Chris to know that Good Chris said that he wanted Evil Chris to be Evil Chris because he needed an arch nemesis because we couldn't have two Chris's in the Faithful 50.
Well, evil Chris is also grows. He can grow a very awesome looking.
Yeah,
Shit.
good Chris doesn't grow a lot of facial hair. I've seen it. It's not impressive. But he would like to know. He wants to know if anybody's worried that Jared Leto's Joker could suck ass. He's worried. I'm not. I think he's going to be awesome. I think he's going to crush it.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be really. I think they're going for a extremely psychotic please trying to win Harley Quinn's love like the whole movie. That's what I want.
Well, he definitely has a feel of the New 52 Joker. But I don't know. I think he's gonna crush it. I think it's gonna be something different than we've ever seen. I think it's gonna vibe really well with this universe, and I think Leto has completely committed himself to this role. And
Yes.
I think one way or another, he's gonna. I think he's gonna crush it. Personally, that's just me. Let's see here, and then finally, Brian from Washington wants to know, what do we think about the Arrow trailer? We told you we think it looked all right, but we're still worried about season 5. The Flash trailer, we think it looks amazing, and he says never mind. He thinks Flash is going to be awesome. So he answered his own question. Yes. But thank you, everybody. Thank you. We got a couple new people on here. We got a couple of the old school Faithful 50 back. I guess we have to get Phil back one of these days. I think he disowned us.
And I want to thank everybody. We didn't really give a lot of time for that one, so
yeah, you guys came through
on top of it.
So hey, you know what? We don't do this Oprah. We don't do this often, but like Oprah. Gold stars to everybody. You're getting a gold star. Evil Chris, gold star. Good Chris, gold star. Brian, gold star. Jeremy, gold star. Jeff, gold star.
Everyone gets a gold star.
Everyone gets a gold star. Now pay taxes on that, and hopefully it doesn't bankrupt you.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. All right, moving on.
Actual gold.
So our last segment of the night, since we're running a little long, we were going to do on our weekly recommendations. Me and Ryan each had something to review. So do we want to just do one of them, or did you want to shorten one of them? Or do you want to do?
Mine short.
Want to keep your short? Okay. Well, all right, Ryan, for your weekly recommendations, what should you or shouldn't you waste your time doing this week?
So on Pi Day, as I explained a couple weeks ago, I realized I had an Amazon Prime account that I didn't know I had paid for one of the year.
Sneaky fuckers.
Yeah, thank you, evil Amazon. So I decided to make use of it, and I bought a Amazon Fire TV. Just little box. I'd grab it, but it's all plugged in. I don't want to unplug that shit because I'm lazy. It's basically, just a little square. The remote controls got like 10 buttons on it. Super intuitive. And on the top, it's got the microphone button, so you can, ask Alexa. It's been fucking awesome. Like, the first thing we did, Alexa, play the Eagles. My wife's a big Eagles fan. So
with the Fire TV, so it has the Alexa operating system, like the Alexa.
So you can
cool.
ask for everything that you want. So you
that's cool.
Ask for music. Last night I was like, Alexa, play my last episode of Man in the High Castle. It turns on the last episode.
That's awesome. Because I have the Amazon Echo, which has Alexa on it, but it doesn't obviously connect to my television. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's so sweet, and it's got a ton of free app games you can put on it. Mm-hmm. So you can play games from your remote. You don't have to have we've discovered that we like it so much we're gonna buy a couple of the game controllers. Mm-hmm. But we've been playing this shark game where you're a shark and you just eat fish and people swimming in the water, and then your shark just gets bigger, and we've been playing the shit out of it. My wife is really good at it. So
nice.
And it's got a ton of apps, ton of games.
Shark Shrine.
It's got Netflix, Hulu, HBO Go. So basically, if you pay for any of those streaming services, you can just put it all through that app.
Have you had a chance to mess with the Fire Stick at
all?
I
have not done the stick.
Okay. I have the stick. It sounds like a lot. I was just wondering what comparatively the Fire TV versus the stick was.
Well, the Fire TV, it does have the wireless option, but I bought the $3 cord, and you have to buy your own modem cord and your own HDMI cord.
Nice.
It doesn't come with the box, so you have to get those separate. But if you can plug it right into your router, which is what I did.
Oh, nice.
It is fast as hell.
What kind of hard drive space does it have? Do you know?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but we put 3 games on it, and just a couple of apps that we were just trying to see how they work. It comes with, you can put an SD, you can get a micro SD card to expand your memory. So it's if you start to fill it up or something like that, and basically you can play all the not Apple, I keep saying that, Amazon games. So there's Lego Star Wars that we're gonna download. I'm gonna get a little SD card and put that in so we can have Lego Star Wars.
Oh, nice.
So you can, that's what you can hook up your Amazon gaming remote, game controller, so you can play all the games. There's a shitload of games on it. So
Sweet. Well, how much
honestly,
does it go for?
it was $69 when we got it on Prime Day, but I think normally it's like $89 or $99. So I think it's well worth it if you have Amazon Prime. You get all the movies, all the music, photos, games, fucking everything.
And that Alexis AI.
Great.
Yeah, for anybody who has never used it before, actually mine just turned on, so you might hear her speaking in the background because it's her name.
Yeah.
But anybody who hasn't had a chance to mess with the Alexis AI, it works really good. I'd say it works better than Siri, honestly, and I'm a big Apple fan, so it's very helpful. We use it all the time for checking the weather or news or whatever. So that's pretty awesome that it comes with because I have a couple of the Amazon Fire Sticks, and they work really well, but there's no voice activation, and they don't have the Alexis AI, which I think would be worth the price for the upgrade.
If you're looking for the next step, I would probably say get the Apple or the Amazon Fire TV.
Nice.
So, and they have the Fire Sticks to have voice control too. So they're just a little more pricey now. But just get the TV. It's great. We love it. We've only had it for a couple of days, but I'm not going back from anything else. So
that even inspired me to upgrade.
It makes your Prime account 100% worth it. So
nice.
Get it.
Well, and also don't forget, I believe if you have the Echo like I do, the Amazon Echo, it actually will hook up. Alexis will control it all, and it'll all connect to each other.
They'll sync.
They'll sync. So that is awesome. So go out and buy an Amazon Fire TV for $99 or $89 on Amazon.
Yes.
Nice. I'm gonna get one. And just for the record, Amazon does not sponsor us. This is a fully our own recommendation.
Yes.
Amazon, send me a Fire TV so I can also recommend it. All right, nice. All right. My recommendation this week is a new television series. So you may have seen a lot of people may have seen your Facebook pages or social media accounts blowing up with people raving about the new show on Netflix, the new original show on Netflix, Stranger Things. And if you're wondering what that's all about, well, I'm here to tell you. I watched the entire series in 4 days. I would have watched it in less time, but the kids were keeping us away from the television. So it's hard to sit and watch 8 hours of television in a short period of time. But that should go to show you how much me and my wife love this show. We watched it in 4 days, which is unheard of in my family. Stranger Things. So everything everybody said about it is absolutely correct. Stranger Things is my new favorite television show. So before I go into why, I just want to put that out there. I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. I love Flash. And they may be better television shows, I guess, for drama and everything like that. But this is my favorite television show. Just for the simple fact that it might be the funnest 8 hours of television you will watch, period. Stranger Things is a show that plays heavily into your 80s nostalgia, if you grew up in the 80s like I did, or if you've ever sit around and said, you know what, they don't make movies like they used to. This show was created for you. This was made like they used to make movies, that made you feel things, that made you experience wonder, that also kind of scared you in a primal way that wasn't CGI or we're going to cut your head off and, poke out your eyes. It was terrifying just to be terrifying. It was because it was in the shadows and it was horrifying. That's what this show is. What Stranger Things is about, before I kind of dive into why I liked it, basically Stranger Things follows the community. The main heroes in this are four young kids. They're boys, and they're probably 12, 13 years old, between that 11 and 13 year age. It opens with them playing Dungeons and Dragons. I believe the TV show is set in 1983 or 1884, so it's early mid 80s. So it definitely they do a good job of really making you feel like it's the 80s with the outfits and the music and the cars and the environments. Never once was I taken out of this. In fact, I very much, like I said, felt like this was a movie that was made when I was younger. But it follows these kids. They're playing Dungeons and Dragons, which is kind of fun. It shows the way kids were nerdy before there was a lot of video games and everything else you could nerd out with. But when you actually had to meet with your friends in a room and actually use your imagination to play something. But it basically follows these kids. One of them goes missing. He disappears in the first episode, and no one quite knows what's going on. Eventually, they run into this mysterious girl named 11, and she has powers. She has telepathic powers. She can make things move. She can. I don't want to get into too much of what else she can do because it'll give away some of the plot. But she has a lot of variety of powers, and these kids kind of take her in. They're all looking for their friend when they find him, and so the whole community is kind of shooken up by this loss of one of its kids. The whole community, I think, like the sheriff is one of the main characters. He mentions how there hasn't been a murder in 30 years, and nothing ever happens in this town. And then all of a sudden, people start showing up missing, and there's a suicide, and there's all these things that happen. And all of a sudden, there's this bigger conspiracy at work. You have your evil, the bad guys are the evil government, no-name entity that are running experiments. There's a monster that runs around that's eating people, or maybe it's not eating people, or maybe it's abducting people. This is a great, and I'm going to say movie because it feels like a movie. It's an 8-hour movie. It's not a television show. It's a long movie. It feels like the movies you grew up watching. It relies heavily on the nostalgia of the 80s. It draws back to the John Carpenter era, the Stephen King. This movie feels a lot like the movie Firestarter. It has that feeling. So if you like a series that is a series/movie that feels like that movie, the kid with the powers who everyone's out to get him, and it's tragic, but it's also cool. That's this show, but it also has the Steven Spielberg E.T. feel. These kids feel like they're straight out of an E.T. movie. It has teenagers. There's a huge cast of characters in this that are all really good. And one of the things I loved about it is almost everybody except for Winona Ryder is an unknown. I haven't seen almost anybody in a movie or television show before, and it does a great job of enhancing the environment, making not taking you out of it by like, oh look, that's Brad Pitt, or oh look, that's some big named star. But no, this is a great series that if you like John Carpenter's The Thing, and if you like Jaws, and you like Goonies, and you like E.T., all those movies are all thrown together to make this series, and it's a ton of fun. It's way more heartfelt than I thought. I mean, you'll have a lot of feelings, highs and lows, and by the time the end comes, there's moments where you're like, yeah, you're pumping your fist. And my wife is not a sci-fi fan, and after the first episode, she was completely hooked, and we just could not watch this series fast enough. It's done by the Duffer Brothers, who I've never heard of before, but they do a great job with the cast and the story. Rumor is that there's already a sequel in production. They're calling it a sequel because they view this series like a big movie, and when you watch it, you'll understand why, because that's the way it feels. But the movie, the television series, Stranger Things, is a ton of fun. It's thrilling. It's funny. You will absolutely fall in love with the young boys, the cast. They are so funny. They are so great. They remind you of at least one person you knew in your childhood. And the nostalgia is very heavy, but it doesn't just rely on nostalgia. It tells a great story, an interesting, funny, thrilling story that will have you choked up at some points and, like I said, pumping your fists in others. And, there is some violence, so younger viewers might be a little scared, but not a lot of bad language, not any too much that isn't, for 12, 13-year-olds could easily watch this and enjoy it. Or even if, you don't like sci-fi, my wife is not a sci-fi fan, and we sat and we watched it, and she loved it. So watch it with a significant other, watch it with your young adult. I would not recommend your 6, 7-year-old watch this. Probably still a little scary for them, but I hard press you to watch it and not enjoy it from start to finish, or binge watch it in a matter of days, because every episode when it's over, you just cannot wait to hit the next one. So I'm going to say Stranger Things from Netflix is my series of the year so far. I loved it. Absolutely
awesome.
Loved it.
I was a little apprehensive about it, only just because it looked like it might be like, I'm not big in like scary horror stuff, so it didn't. I don't know why I thought that was what I was going to be getting, but that sounds a lot better than what I was thinking. So
yeah, it definitely has some elements of, say, Jaws, like Jaws type. It's more Jaws type horror than like super scary type stuff, or really violent.
I can deal with that.
I'm telling you, I love this. The first episode throws a lot at you, and it kind of leaves you a little lost. But the second episode really grabs a hold and runs with the storyline. I don't want to say anything else about it because I don't want to give away any of the story, because it does have a really good kind of twisty story that some of it you don't see coming. And I'm telling you, the final episode was massively more emotional than I really expected, because they spent 7 episodes investing in these characters and building them to the point where you feel like they're friends and family. So what happened when things unfold at the end, you really feel what they're going through. So I don't know. Maybe I loved it more than everybody else, but from what I've heard, everybody else loves it as much as I did. Do not be apprehensive. If it doesn't look like it's for you, it is for you. Trust me. Everybody can find something to enjoy from this series. It is one of the best that Netflix has ever done, and I love a lot of things Netflix has done. But like I said, it is my new favorite series, period.
Awesome.
So, Stranger Things, available to stream all 8 episodes on Netflix right now. So... all right, man. Well, we already ran long. This is kind of our double-sized episode because we had so much news. Yes. So we'll just cut it short, and we'll say thanks, everybody, for joining us. Have a great week.
Time.
And, goodbye from the geeky side. Yeah. We're thankful that you joined us again for another episode of the Geek Dad Report, the one show dedicated to not rhyming. Fuck it. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Join us for episode 65. And if you have anything you want to tell us, hit us up in the fucking comments. We're always there and always answering.
Geek Dad Report.
Stay awesome, motherfuckers. Booyah.
Boop.